Imagine, if you will, an empire so powerful, so awe-inspiring, that it ruled half the known world. Valyria, the beating heart of an ancient civilization. In this legendary land, cities didn't just rise, they soared, built with magic and ambition, where lords and ladies rode dragons high above the clouds, their shadows casting awe and fear over all below. The Valyrians' mastery of fire and sorcery was unmatched. They bent the elements to their will, forging weapons and wonders, believing their reign would stretch on for eternity, unchallenged and unbroken. But then, in a single cataclysmic moment, everything changed. The Valyrian Freehold, once thought invincible, was obliterated, its mighty cities reduced to smouldering ruins, its people lost to legend. The Doom of Valyria was not just a disaster. It was an event so devastating that it shattered an entire continent, reshaping the world and the course of history forever. This is more than a tale of a lost empire. It's a warning echoing through the ages, a reminder that no matter how great, no power is immune to ruin or the whims of fate. The very volcanoes that had once given the Valyrians their strength and magic turned against them in a fiery apocalypse. Their pride, their confidence, became their undoing. In a storm of fire and ash, dragons, symbols of their might, were swept away, and the civilization that had tamed them was buried beneath molten rock and choking smoke. The world was left with only silent ruins and a haunting lesson. Even the greatest empires can fall, and their stories become warnings for those who follow. But how did it all begin? We'll journey back to the time when humble shepherds tending their flocks in the shadow of volcanoes discovered secrets that would transform them into dragonlords, masters of beasts and destiny. We'll uncover the ancient magic, the rituals, and the powerful artifacts that shaped their world, fueling their rise and ultimately sealing their fate. The fall of Valyria didn't just end an era. It set the stage for a new world to emerge from the ashes of chaos and destruction. We'll witness the rise of the free cities, each with its own ambitions and secrets, thriving in the shadow of Valyria's demise. And we'll follow the Targaryens, the last of the dragonlords, as they flee their doomed homeland, carrying with them the last hope of their kind across the sea to Westeros. The shadow of Valyria still looms over the world, a constant reminder of ambition unchecked, of the dangers that come with power and pride. This is not just history, it's a story of power, hubris, and the fragile nature of civilization itself, where even the mightiest can be brought low in an instant. For in the end, even the brightest flames, no matter how fiercely they burn, can be extinguished in a heartbeat, leaving only darkness and memory behind. The Valyrians began as humble shepherds, tending their flocks on a harsh volcanic peninsula. Life was simple, shaped by the rugged land and the ever-present threat of fire beneath their feet. They lived in the shadow of the 14 Flames, a chain of mighty volcanoes that dominated the horizon and filled the air with smoke and ash. Deep within those mountains, hidden in fiery caves, they stumbled upon a discovery that would change their fate forever: dragon eggs, pulsing with heat and ancient power. Through patience, courage, and a touch of magic, the Valyrians learned to tame these legendary beasts. This mastery over dragons transformed them from simple shepherds into dragonlords, the most powerful people the world had ever seen. The dragonlord families, marked by their striking silver-gold hair and haunting purple eyes, rose above all others. They became the elite, ruling over lesser citizens and commanding legions of slaves. Their newfound power fueled relentless conquests and allowed them to build magnificent cities of fused stone, shaped and sealed by dragonfire and ancient sorcery. Valyria itself became a wonder of the world, its skyline pierced by rainbow-hued towers, guarded by magical sphinxes, and adorned with artistry that dazzled all who beheld it. Yet beneath this splendor, the mines under the 14 Flames were a living nightmare. Slaves toiled in unbearable heat, digging for precious ores and gems, and perished by the thousands in the darkness. The Valyrians' rise was swift and absolute. Their armies, backed by dragons, swept aside all resistance, transforming their society through fire and blood. They conquered neighboring lands, amassed unimaginable wealth, and forged a civilization unlike any before, a realm of prosperity, power, and fear. The journey from humble shepherds to masters of the world had truly begun, a transformation as dramatic as the land they called home. Magic, dragons, and boundless ambition set the Valyrians apart from all others, fueling their dreams of dominion. As Valyria expanded, the world watched in awe and fear. The old order crumbled, and new powers rose to challenge the dragonlords. The age of Valyria had dawned, and the world would never be the same again. The Valyrian Freehold was ruled by 40 dragonlord families, united by power but divided by ambition. Dragons gave them military dominance. Slaves fueled their economy and built their cities. They expanded across Essos, establishing colonies and demanding tribute from local rulers. The Freehold's strength lay in its dragons and its ruthless system of control. Internal competition among dragonlords drove them to ever greater heights and deeper rivalries. Valyrian culture, language, and magic spread across their empire, leaving a mark that endures. Their roads of fused stone and Valyrian steel became legendary. To some, Valyria was a beacon of civilization. To others, a symbol of oppression. For 4 centuries, they stood as undisputed masters of the known world. Their ambition was boundless, their power absolute. But beneath the glory, cracks were forming. Long before the rise of Valyria, the old empire of Geese stood as the dominant power in Essos. Their disciplined legions, clad in bronze and iron, marched through vast city squares, and their cities soared with monumental ziggurats and imposing stone walls. For centuries, the Giscari ruled unchallenged, their civilization a beacon of order and might. But then came the Valyrians, wielding a power the world had never seen. The Giscari fought 5 brutal wars against these newcomers, their armies clashing in epic battles that shook the continent. Yet it was the dragons, massive, fire-breathing beasts, that truly tipped the scales. Dragonfire rained down from the sky, turning Giscari armies and entire cities to ash. Shields and spears, once symbols of Giscari strength, proved utterly useless against the relentless fury of the dragons. The devastation was total and merciless. In the final, most devastating war, Valyria unleashed its full might. Old Geese was not just defeated, it was obliterated. The land was sown with salt, sulfur, and skulls, ensuring nothing would ever grow there again. The once great empire was reduced to a wasteland of death and ruin. The Giscari people, their culture and their legacy, were erased from history, leaving behind only ruins and whispers. Their fate became a chilling warning to all who might dare defy the dragon lords. With Gis gone, Valyria emerged as the world's sole superpower. Their banners flew over conquered lands, and their dragons soared above cities that once belonged to their enemies. This victory marked not just the end of the old world, but the dawn of a new era, the Age of Dragons. The world would never be the same again. The conquest was ruthless and absolute, but it secured Valyria's dominance for centuries to come. No rival dared challenge their might. The legend of the Giscari Wars became a dark fairy tale, a story told in hushed tones, a warning to all who would oppose the Dragon Lord's rule. Now, no one could stand against Valyria. Their reign was unchallenged, and the world trembled beneath the shadow of their dragons. After Geese, Valyria set its sights on the Rhoynar, a peaceful people with water magic and beautiful river cities. Conflict erupted when Valyrian expansion threatened the Rhoynar's way of life. Princess Nymeria united her people, wielding water magic against the Dragonlords. For a time, the Rhoynar held their own, but Valyria unleashed 300 dragons. Dragonfire boiled the River Rhoyne, turning water to steam and destroying the Rhoynar armies. The survivors, led by Nymeria, fled across the sea to Dawn, forever changing Westeros. The Rhoynish wars left scars. The river still steams where the dragons struck. Valyria's victory cemented its reputation as unstoppable. The Age of Dragons had no rival. The world trembled before their power, but every conquest left new wounds. Even at their height, warnings of Valyria's doom appeared. Daenerys Targaryen, a dreamer, foresaw the destruction of Valyria and convinced her father, Enar, to flee to Dragonstone. The Targaryens were mocked for abandoning Valyria, but their escape would prove fateful. Another legend tells of Orion, a slave who bonded with a dragon and led a doomed revolt, proof of unrest beneath Valyria's glittering surface. These stories revealed cracks in the Freehold prophecy and rebellion, ignored by the proud Dragonlords. The Valyrians believed themselves invincible, blind to the dangers gathering around them. Their arrogance would be their undoing. The seeds of destruction were sown long before the doom. Warnings went unheeded. Fate was closing in. Closing. The doom struck without warning. The 14 flames erupted in a magical cataclysm. Cities vanished, the land split, and the sea boiled as fire and ash consumed Valyria. Every dragonlord and dragon perished in a single day. The greatest civilization was wiped out. The cause remains a mystery, natural disaster, magical hubris, or vengeance from enemies. The peninsula became the smoking sea, haunted and cursed. No ship returns from its shores. Monsters and madness rule the ruins. The doom was total. Valyria was erased from the world. Its legacy became one of terror and loss. The age of dragons ended in fire and ash. The world would never be the same. Valyria's legacy endures in its roads, straight, black and unbroken, crafted with lost magic. These roads still connect the free cities, silent reminders of a vanished empire. Valyrian steel, lighter and sharper than any other, remains a symbol of power. Its secrets died with the dragonlords. The few surviving blades are priceless relics coveted by kings and warriors. The ruins of Valyria are cursed, haunted, poisonous and filled with twisted creatures. The smoking sea keeps the empire's secrets buried. The Targaryens alone survived thanks to Daenerys' prophecy. From Dragonstone, they would one day conquer Westeros with their dragons. The fate of Westeros and the Iron Throne began with Valyria's fall. The shadow of the Freehold stretches across centuries. Valyria's story is a warning about the dangers of pride and unchecked power. Their belief in invincibility blinded them to prophecy and peril. In a single day, centuries of glory turned to ash. The fall of Valyria plunged the world into chaos. The century of blood, the rise of new powers, and endless war. The lesson is not about dragons or magic, but about the nature of power itself. True strength requires wisdom and humility, not just might. The Valyrians lacked the foresight to avoid their doom. Their story is a reminder. No one is too great to fall. Even the brightest flames can be extinguished. The world remembers Valyria in fire, ash, and warning.